The Apple App Store is pushing corrupted apps. An affordable Android game console is on its way with Ouya, and the top apps to put on your future 7-inch iPad today on App Judgment. This episode of App Judgment is brought to you by Gamefly.
Welcome to App Judgment, your source for mobile app news and reviews. I'm Mauricio Balvanera.
And I'm Jackie Talbot.
Jackie, don't update your apps today.
Why?
Don't do it.
Why?
Because it's in the news. Said so. Yeah, bad news for a lot of developers. And when I say don't update your apps, I mean both developers and you on your system.
Right.
So Marco Arment of Instapaper fame wrote in his blog how he found it was only affecting customers in some regions, and updating from iTunes, some customers might get a dialog citing error 8324 or 8326. And apparently the only way to fix this is once you get a good copy that's apparently now being served by the Apple Store, you need to delete and reinstall the application.
Like from the core, it's corrupted.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. So some of the apps being affected, some of the more popular apps that we've reviewed here, Angry Birds Space, Dolphin Browser, Flick Soccer, Ice Age, LA Times, Max Payne Mobile, Ski Safari.
That's nuts.
These are big titles,
Yeah.
and there's apparently Apple did the fix, but they still haven't said why it happened. So if you're having any trouble with your updates today, actually any time between July 3rd and July 5th. Just delete those updates or re-download them. By the time you watch this episode, they should be fixed.
Right, so.
We'll see.
Yeah, that sucks, but you know, at least they're trying to work on it.
They're working on it.
So now, announcing Ouya.
Ouya! Ouya!
Oh yeah!
I like Ouya.
Oh yeah!
This is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the affordable Android app gaming console. It's pretty awesome. It was designed by Ives Behar, who is the guy behind the amazing Jawbone Jambox.
I love my Jambox.
Yeah. So it's only $99, and it's awesome. It's built to be hacked. Like it's just this gaming console that is running open. It's running Android, but it's basically they give it to you with a dev kit, so you have to mess with it.
Exactly.
There is no launch date. It's brand new, really early. There's not a lot of information on it yet, but we're definitely keeping our eyes on it.
Yeah, this sounds pretty promising. The idea of being able to play mobile games on your TV.
It's like a actual living console, a living room console.
Yeah, I imagine Google TV would be doing this sometime in the near future as well. But
with the Google Play Store and everything?
Yeah, the people involved with this project, some people from IGN, of course, the Jawbone guy. I mean, this is going to be a good, solid piece of legit hardware. So
yeah, definitely. There's a lot of really decent titles and names behind it. So
that's right.
We're going to keep an eye on it.
And finally, in the news, it's looking more and more like we'll be seeing a 7 to 8 inch, ish iPad later this year. So apparently Apple component suppliers in Asia are preparing for mass production in September for a tablet computer with a smaller screen than the iPad, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, I don't know where they get these sources, but there's been multiple people saying, yes, this is happening. We don't know when. Of course, this is still a rumor.
Right.
Then, as we know, last week Google started taking orders for their Nexus 7, which we have right here. This is a tablet with a 7-inch screen, and it'll sell for roughly $200. Actually, Graham showed me a really cool trick. He got this from John Gruber, but if you take a screenshot on your iPad, just take a screenshot of your screen in sort of the vertical mode, turn it sideways. This is about the same size of what like a 7-inch tablet would be.
That's interesting.
That's
really
really
interesting. Trick. And then it is true. Like the 7-inch tablets almost look like they make up just one iPad.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that they,
And that looks about right.
Yeah, it does. The screen size.
Try that little trick if you have an iPad to sort of get an idea of what your form factor is going to be.
Right.
So in honor of the rumor news, we'd like to pitch 4 apps that would be perfect on the 7-inch iPad. But first, let's back up a little to these Android games. So imagine playing games on your TV through a box, through some sort of box.
That
sounds familiar.
Xbox. I've heard of that before.
Or PS3.
Or whatever.
Or Wii.
Whatever you own. I've been playing Wind Waker again on my Wii.
Oh, really?
I actually have, and I love it.
Good old Zelda.
Again.
Zelda.
The Call of Duty, off and on.
Yeah. So do you own all these games?
For the most part.
Okay.
But I don't always buy games right off the bat, obviously.
Right, you try them out first.
Test it out first. So Gamefly does that perfectly. You can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them as long as you like, which is another problem for renting is you gotta like rush through it because you know you have to return it, but not with Gamefly.
Keep it as long as you want, right?
Yeah. So once you're done playing a game, you can send it back to Gamefly and they'll send you the next one on your list immediately.
That's awesome.
It's a deal.
Yeah. So if you go to www.gamefly.com/appjudgment, you can get a free 15-day trial. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. So check it out.
All of you viewers.
I like it.
All right, so let's check out some apps that I think are going to be really cool
for the
this
little
rumored mini iPad. So I took a poll, like I was saying, and most people using the 7-inch tablets, mostly Android, of course, only Android right now, are using it mostly for 2 things: reading and as a media center or like remote.
Yes.
So I picked out a few things. We talked about Marco Armat. He's the developer of Instapaper, and I cannot get enough of this application.
You love it.
I think I've recommended this app like every other episode.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? I am doing it again. And what's funny is, I don't know if this is still going on, but you could get a free copy of the app, which normally costs about $5. You have to physically go to a Starbucks shop and get a promo card and enter the code into iTunes. I think they might still be doing this. It's been going on for a while, so that promotion might have ended. What does it do? When you're browsing web pages during the workday when you shouldn't be?
No one does that.
You can install a bookmarklet or an extension where you say read later or send to Instapaper, and it'll send it to your iPad or the Instapaper website in text-only format. So you can check it out later when you're not so busy. It'll aggregate it, and it's usually ad-free, just a really basic text version.
Yeah, super clean. I use Pocket, but
Pocket's good too. Pocket's good too.
Yeah.
All of those readers are going to be awesome. Another good application. So in terms of sort of a media center thing, as an entertainment center, I love the Boxy app. I have a Boxy box, so it ends up working well. You don't need a Boxy box, but so what you can do is it aggregates any video that anyone in your social network has tweeted or Facebooked.
That's great.
And adds it into a stream. You've got sort of three levels. The top one is your social network, what people are talking about right now about in the video world. You have a watch later list, so you can again add an extension on your browser, come across a video. It's like an Instapaper for videos.
Yeah, and see what your friends are doing.
Click watch later, and then they curate their own list of, hey, you should check out these videos.
So and it is standalone. You don't need the Boxy with it. Obviously, you can use it.
Well, the great thing about having a Boxy box is that there's a send to Boxy box button. If you're watching something on your tablet, and you're like, you know what? I want to see this in larger form. Click.
On the big screen.
There it is on the big screen.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool.
A good one for the 7-inch iPad.
Speaking of remotes, so I had the pleasure of house sitting for some really rich people this past weekend.
Awesome.
They had a home theater with this awesome, big, expensive remote. And I realized that was an expensive remote for no reason. If you have a touchscreen, this is the perfect universal remote.
Like I have the Harmony remote, and it's just sitting there, like because we don't, you know.
So I highly recommend the Digit Universal Remote. They have an app, and it connects to all of your devices. Here, let me pull mine up here real quick. Literally all your devices, and when you pair it, this is another sort of hardware combination thing. This is the Griffin Beacon. Works over Bluetooth. So you know, I've got my TV here, my TiVo, my Apple Media Player, which basically means the Apple TV, my Xbox, my Google TV, my Roku. They're all in there. They all work.
That's crazy.
The Beacon runs for about $70.
Which is reasonable.
That's not too bad, because if you're going to be paying for a universal remote that does all of this, you're going to be paying a lot more than $70.
Exactly.
So that's another cool one to have sort of as a small universal remote by the couch. And finally, we actually reviewed this before, the Yocto clock. I love it. I've been using it. I've been using it as my alarm clock on my nightstand. The problem is the iPad is too big.
Yeah, it's just like there's no point to have an alarm clock that's like this big.
Here's a perfect size alarm clock right here.
There you go.
One of the cooler things that it does is you can just sort of like lazily, sleepily either dim or brighten the screen by swiping your finger up and down. It's got customizable backgrounds, and it's a pretty dummy-proof alarm. I've set my alarm so it's going to tell me immediately that I have, like from now, 15 hours and 12 minutes to go till the alarm clock is going to go off.
Yeah, tells you how much you can sleep.
Exactly. So you can just quickly look at it and know that it's going to go off.
And that's nice, a nice little background.
Nice background. It's pretty dummy-proof. Yeah. It would work better on a smaller form factor.
I could definitely see that. It's a little excessive. Like
just a little.
Just a little.
All right, well, those are my recommendations. Let me know what you think.
Good
you obviously
recommendations.
Probably have some good ideas on what goes on a smaller form factor screen. For those of you with Kindle Fires and if you went to Google I/O, let us know what's working well on the 7-inch form factor. I don't know. School us on this.
Give us your thoughts.
Let us know over Twitter. Let us know over Facebook, YouTube, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.